So this module is all about time management, and in particular the kind of challenges that you might face with time management coming new into Prescient. I'm talking to Nick Denison Pender all about this. So Nick, for someone new coming to Prescient at a graduate level, what are the biggest challenges when it comes to time management?
I think with regard to time management, new graduates, they're going to come into a totally new environment. It'll be new people, new office, new challenges, and they'll want to impress, and they'll particularly want to impress their managers from day one. Their managers will then come to them with numerous tasks and really want their undivided attention. So their real challenge is how do you balance all of these requests and tasks, and making sure that you are actually doing a good job for our clients, and keeping a balance between your sort of home life and work life, whilst doing a good job for the team and for your manager. So yeah, I think they've got a real challenge on their hands when they come in.
So that question you just asked about, how do you balance? I mean, on a practical level, how do you begin to cope with the kind of demands that balancing will take?
Yeah, I think there are many different ways that you can do it, and every way would be different for each individual. However, probably the most important thing is to actually fully understand all of the tasks that are required of you. The best way to do this is obviously to start talking to the project managers on a weekly basis, be it a Friday evening, a Monday morning, and really understand in the short term what your tasks are likely to be for the week ahead, and from that you can start to build a picture of what your week looks like. I'd then recommend you take all of these tasks and you write them into a list, and you start to prioritise. You start to understand what the particular deadline for each task, when the particular deadline for each task will be, and you can start to build almost a little plan of what your week will look like. But I mean, the most important thing I think is really gathering all of that information, and not committing necessarily to everything until you fully understand what's required, not just from one project manager but from all of them, so you can see what the full week looks like.
So on that sort of short-term basis, day-to-day, week-to-week, it's all about being able to get a real handle on what the tasks are, and be able to prioritise, maybe creating a to-do list or whatever list is going to work for you personally. Yeah. On a more sort of medium-term level, so we're thinking now about sort of, the length of a project, or into weeks and months. What sort of tips would you have there about sort of getting a handle on time management?
Yeah. I think from day one, when you're first given a new project, I think it's partly your responsibility to go out there and really understand what this project's about, what commitments we have with the client. For instance, there could be a conference halfway through the project, and you'll know, or you'll come to know that this is a real crunch point for the project. So on this particular project, you will be almost 100% focused, which will have a knock-on impact on your other projects. So really understanding really what that individual project looks like will really help all of the other projects as well, and help you to plan on a longer term, maybe 3, 4, 5 months out.
So it's mastering and getting a handle on the sort of big picture in a way of how long a project is going to last, and what the landscape of that project is going to look like, so how it could affect you.
It's all about mapping all of the projects out that you're currently working on, and seeing where those real pressure points are. Once you've done that, then you'll be able to see whether there's anything which is actually unmanageable. And you'll be able to flag that up.
And that word you just used, seeing, I mean, would you advise people to literally map out how their projects are going to work, so they can visually see where the points of possible breakdown might be, or stress?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to do it is put it down on a piece of paper. It could be simple as some lines with some big blobs where the pressure points are, or you can get more fancy and do some nice Gantt charts. But the more and some time spent at the beginning mapping it all out will save you a huge amount of time moving forward and give you a less stressful experience working here.
And moving forward, one of the things that people need to think about is, you know, where they're wanting to go long term.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have any sort of advice about that when it comes to the sort of time management side?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of time management, everybody needs to think about what they want long term and what their career is going to look at. They need to map out their career and create a career path. Now, here at Prescient, we do have a fairly structured career path and path in place to help with this process. But it's not just about ticking the boxes to move from one section to the other within the standard career path. It's working out what you really want from this organisation and possibly future organisations to help you grow.
So the message is very much you need to start taking control yourself,
Yeah.
really, about where it is that you're wanting to go.
Absolutely.
But use your line managers to sort of, you know, help you map out that
Yeah.
sort of route.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you said very early on was that when someone first arrives, you know, they're fresh meat, at risk of using that word.
Yes.
And they will be pulled in all sorts of different directions. If you are a new recruit and that is your situation, you feel that everyone wants a bit of you, what is your advice?
I think if you find yourself in a situation where you just don't know where to turn and you feel that you're going to start letting people down, then you need to communicate this. And the best channel to communicate to if it's purely project load is back to the resourcing team. You know, the resourcing team is there to in these situations really be a mediator between yourself and your various project managers. And the solution could be that we can negotiate with your project managers to shift one of the deadlines, or the solution might be to add additional resource to that project to alleviate the problem.
So if in a tricky situation,
Yeah.
resourcing team can act as a kind of mediator.
That's
for fantastic. And finally, and it probably refers back to a lot of the ideas you have talked about, but if you were to sort of summarize 3 top tips for someone new coming into Prescient in terms of being in control of time management, what would they be?
I think, like with so many things in life, the top tip: communication. Communicate, and don't be shy to communicate. You know, if there is an issue, it's much better to know about it now rather than to wait till the problem's so big that it's much more difficult to solve. So communicate, learn from the others. Everyone's been through it, so learn from the others that have had these time management issues. And lastly, get it all down on paper. Really start to understand what tasks are required and what your timelines are, and start to map it out on a bit of paper, and it will make a world of difference.
Nick, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.